The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 258. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on the show today. She was one of the finalists of the popular show Asia's Next Top Model, and she does do some modeling work as well, so I'm really excited to have her on. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Melissa Tan. Melissa, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Hey everyone, I'm Melissa. You may know me from last year's Asia's Next Top Model. I've stayed on the scene since then, I've left my cushy finance job to come out and do modeling full-time in the region. So I'm still in Asia, just modeling between Malaysia, Jakarta, and Singapore, and I'm really happy to be here. Thanks, Sheena.
Awesome. It's great to have you on here. So, Melissa, what's your cultural background?
I was raised in Malaysia, so I'm pretty much a KL girl, or more like a PJ girl, the suburbs of KL. Really humble, down to earth kind of upbringing, so nothing too fancy. And after that, I went on to do uni in Australia. So I guess that's when I got like my more exposure to the outside world and making friends out of like an Asian context. And then I came back to Malaysia.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Melissa, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
I don't exactly have a self-confidence quote, but you know what? You do it till you die. You just go all the way and you give 100%. And that's really the best thing you can do for yourself, really. Confidence is one thing, but you still got to put the effort in, definitely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that quote. And I like that, right? Because a lot of us, or most people, when they see the first sign of hardship or challenges, they kind of like quit thinking it's not going to work for them. And, sometimes it might take you 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000 times to get to your goal. So, in that saying you said you do it till you die, I mean, it's just, if you're really passionate and you really believe in it, you're going to do it no matter what happens, no matter how many times you fall down. So, I really like what you mentioned as a quote or a saying. And, in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
Well, it's of course, as usual, the belief in yourself and the belief you can do it. But, these things are challenged on a daily basis. Like your belief in your belief system in yourself is going to be challenged on a daily basis because of the hardships you go through. So I guess it's the ability to pick yourself up after those hardships that just adds that extra layer of confidence that you build in yourself, that extra layer of tenacity, that extra layer of elephant hide that you use to face the world.
Thanks for sharing that. And, I love that you mentioned that, it's how you pick yourself up, because we all have bad days, right? We all have days where we don't want to like show our face to the world, or we just have sad days. And sometimes, we just got to learn how to pick ourselves back up, whether it's surrounding ourselves with great people, listening to great audios, or reading good books. How you react to the situations, it's really what matters the most. So I love that. And, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
I guess I was just like any other awkward kid, never really grew into the butterfly that people expect you to in high school. So I was just really quiet, very uncomfortable in my own skin. I mean, I grew up as a pretty girl. Like I was pretty in high school already, and generally people see pretty, they're like, oh, this girl must be like full of self-confidence because like, wow, look, you already look good on the outside. But I think as many people would find, the prettiest girls are usually the ones that have zero self-confidence. And I went through that whole period of because I'm naturally an introvert. So when introverts, sometimes when you see all these people around you, you just feel awkward in your own skin. And the fact that you're pretty is meant to like compensate for something, you're using it to compensate for whatever's on the inside. It took me quite a while to be comfortable in my own skin after that, and not to rely just on my looks to even try and make friends.
Thanks for sharing that. And it's crazy sometimes, we are like our own worst critics, right? We just feel like, we're never enough, that we always have to keep on doing or giving more to either whether it's to impress others or or to show people what we're made of. But really, when we just learn to love ourselves and know that we're beautiful inside and out, that's when the real magic happens. And, what was that point in your life when you realize, you are beautiful, you are confident, you are, you can be anybody who you want to be? What was that aha moment in your life?
I think it came around uni. I think when you're still in high school, when you're still in college, people still do a lot of posturing, like, oh, look, these are the cool kids, these are the nerds, these are the whatever. So people still do a lot of posturing in college and high school. So I really felt the pressure in the environment just to like, oh, you know what? I don't look as cool. I look really awkward. I look like I don't have friends. Things like that, I don't look like I'm popular. But once I got to uni, and then, that was my aha moment, because it was in an environment where people just like you for who you are, and then you just find your crowd, and you know what? You just don't care about what people are doing. You just do you. And then I found, oh my God, I can actually make friends, and this makes sense, and I don't really have to care anymore. And I think it's that moment of not caring, just that moment where you feel like you don't have to watch your back or watch how people are judging you. It was probably uni. I think that was it. It's mostly an environment thing, to be honest.
Thanks for sharing that. And surrounding yourself with like-minded people does make a big difference. When
Exactly.
you're in an environment where people are just negative or putting you down all the time, I mean, that's not going to build your self-confidence. But like what you mentioned, when you went to university and you were just around people who are just themselves and everyone was okay with it, it's like, well, you see what's possible, and you could be that same person too. You can just go out there, be yourself, be your authentic self, and be happy and be free. And with that realization, what's your life been like now?
This would sound so cliche, but media plays a role in it. I think people always have grown up watching high school movies, like of how high school should be, of how college should be, and then you think like, oh my God, I'm not having that experience. I'm just because I'm not a cool person. But then uni comes along, and then it just doesn't matter anymore at that point. After the realization, and I just didn't really care what people thought anymore. I just did me, and then people seemed to like me for me. Had my own bunch of friends. We just had fun together, and then I just mixed with different groups of people. And at that point, it just doesn't matter. It just didn't matter anymore, and I was so much happier because of it. Like, it felt like I didn't have any gap in my life. It didn't feel like I was lacking anything. I didn't feel like I had to prove anything to people. So it was nice.
Thanks for sharing that. And it is the greatest feeling when you just kind of let go of what other people think of you, and you just learn to be able to be happy with who you are. It's just, I think it's like, it just feels so light and so natural that everything else falls into place. And, Melissa, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey of self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
The one tip I would give is just do you, and put yourself in an environment where you're able to do that. Because if you can't change the environment you're in, then remove yourself from the environment, because I think the environment is the one that contributes, even if it's not 100%, it contributes a significant part to how you're feeling as well. People around you, whether they're toxic or not, or if they're people who are just supportive and they build you up, that helps a lot with self-confidence. So if you can't change the environment, then take yourself out of the environment. Find a better environment. You can be anywhere you want to be. You get to choose.
Thanks. And I love that tip that you mentioned. If you can't find the environment that you want to be in, remove yourself from the one that's keeping you stuck, because that's really important too, right? If you can't let go of that, then you're always going to be stuck. You're always going to be feeling like you're not enough, and then all those crazy thoughts we have in our head start reappearing again. So I always believe environment is huge as well. And Melissa, if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
I'm mostly active on Instagram, so my handle is at Melissa Tan LH. So that is MELISSATANLH. I have a really common name, Melissa Tan, so of course I don't get a really cute handle. I get a really long handle instead, so look me up.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Melissa, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com. and search for Melissa's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just really want to thank Melissa for taking the time to share her story and tips with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much, Melissa.
Thank you so much for having me, Sheena.
It was an honor having you on and share your story. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for a new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Get your free audiobook by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.